Doing well. I think what happens is sometimes in life, God has to break you down to lift you up.
Gregory Ellis Mathis was born on November 5, 1960, in the heart of Detroit, Michigan, into a family that faced many challenges, but also had immense love and resilience. His mother, Alice Lee Mathis, was a remarkable woman who carried the full responsibility of raising 4 boys on her own after her divorce from Greg's father, Charles Mathis. Alice worked tirelessly, often holding 2 jobs at the same time, one as a nurse's aide and another cleaning houses, just to make sure her children had food on the table and a roof over their heads. She believed deeply in the power of faith, discipline, and education, and she instilled these values in her sons from a very young age. Church attendance was mandatory. Homework was non-negotiable. Family dinners and prayer created a sense of structure and stability, acting as anchors for the family in a neighborhood that was often dangerous and chaotic. Greg grew up understanding the value of hard work, integrity, and personal responsibility, lessons that would guide him throughout his life, even when he faced significant obstacles. In 1964, when Greg was just 4 years old, Alice moved the family into the Herman Gardens housing projects, an area of Detroit that was plagued by poverty, crime, and drugs. Life in Herman Gardens was not easy. The streets were filled with dangers, and young boys like Greg were constantly exposed to influences that could lead them astray. Despite her best efforts, the pressures of the neighborhood were difficult to shield her children from. Greg and his brothers faced situations that tested the discipline and values their mother worked so hard to instill. Over time, the challenges of growing up in a tough environment began to weigh on Greg. As a teenager, he began making poor choices, drifting into minor crimes such as purse snatching, breaking and entering, and other offenses. These early mistakes marked a difficult chapter in his life, one that could have easily defined his future if he had not taken decisive steps to change. At 17, Greg's life reached a critical turning point when he was arrested on a concealed weapons charge. He spent 9 months in Wayne County Jail, a period that forced him to confront just how far he had strayed from the values his mother had taught him. During this time, he received devastating news. His mother had been diagnosed with colon cancer. The combination of incarceration and his mother's illness created a moment of reflection and clarity for Greg. It was during this period that he was presented with a choice by the judge overseeing his case: either remain behind bars or earn his General Educational Development Certificate, also known as a GED. Choosing to turn his life around, Greg committed to earning his GED and making a promise to his mother that he would change the course of his life. That promise became his moral compass, guiding him through the difficult years ahead. After his release, Greg faced the challenge of finding a path forward while staying out of trouble. He took humble jobs, including working at McDonald's, flipping burgers, and performing other tasks that were far from glamorous. These early jobs were not chosen for prestige, but for survival, helping him remain compliant with probation and maintain a sense of purpose. Over time, with the support of a close family friend, Greg was able to enroll at Eastern Michigan University, where he discovered a passion for politics, public service, and advocacy. While studying, he became deeply involved in campus activities, joined political organizations, and organized events, including protests against apartheid in South Africa. Greg was learning not only about government and politics, but also about leadership, responsibility, and community engagement. With a degree in public administration, he began working for Detroit City Council, eventually joining the administration of Mayor Coleman Young. There, he managed a district city hall and stayed connected to his community, mentoring young people and offering guidance to those who reminded him of his younger self. As he gained experience in public service, Greg decided to pursue a law career. When he applied for his law license, his past criminal record presented a major obstacle. Rather than give up, he fought his case all the way to the Michigan Supreme Court, ultimately winning the right to practice law. This remarkable achievement demonstrated that his years of service, dedication, and moral integrity outweighed the mistakes of his youth. From a troubled teenager in Detroit to a respected judge in just 15 years, Greg Mathis's story became a symbol of transformation, resilience, and hope for countless young people facing adversity. As Greg Mathis's professional career flourished, he also found love and companionship. He married Linda, a woman who shared his values, commitment, and vision for family life. Their marriage was admired for its stability, a rare trait in celebrity culture where relationships often struggle under the public eye. For many years, the couple represented longevity and loyalty, quietly maintaining their partnership without the scandals, drama, or controversies often associated with public figures. Fans admired the apparent harmony of their marriage, assuming that the respect, integrity, and discipline Greg demonstrated in his professional life also defined his personal life. For years, their relationship seemed unshakable. Together, they celebrated achievements, navigated life's challenges, and built a family life rooted in trust and mutual support. However, by 2019, reports and rumors began to surface, suggesting that all was not as perfect as it seemed. The exact reasons were never publicly confirmed, but sources close to the couple indicated that their marriage had been under stress for some time. The pressures of public life, long work hours, and the natural challenges of maintaining a private partnership while being in the public spotlight created tension that quietly accumulated over the years. Then, in a move that shocked fans and observers, Greg Mathis and Linda decided to divorce. There were no explosive arguments, no public scandals, just the quiet, sudden decision to part ways. The news startled many, who assumed the couple's long-standing marriage would last indefinitely. Although the divorce was unexpected, those close to Greg and Linda reported that it was amicable. Both chose to handle the separation privately and respectfully, avoiding drama, lawsuits, or public accusations. Their focus was on moving forward with dignity and maintaining mutual respect despite the end of their marriage. This decision revealed a human side of Greg Mathis that many viewers rarely see, a man who, despite his public success and moral authority, faced challenges and difficult decisions in his personal life just like anyone else. At the same time, Greg Mathis continued to face scrutiny in the public eye. In 2019, an incident in Detroit involving a valet drew media attention. Reports stated that a valet had mistakenly taken the wrong car keys while Greg was visiting a restaurant, which allegedly led to a verbal confrontation. Some sources claimed that Greg spat on the valet, while others maintained that it was only a heated verbal exchange. Greg publicly denied the serious allegations, explaining that he had been dealing with a medical issue at the time, which made the situation stressful and frustrating. Similarly, in 2023, another complaint emerged in Los Angeles when a city worker allegedly blocked Greg's driveway. Greg maintained his innocence, stating that the reports exaggerated what had occurred and that multiple witnesses would support his version of events. These incidents demonstrated that even a public figure known for fairness and justice is not immune to misunderstandings, disputes, or scrutiny. They also highlighted the complexity of living a life in the public eye, where even minor personal conflicts can be magnified into major controversies. Greg's divorce and the public attention surrounding these incidents reveal important truths about personal and public life. While fans may have expected a flawless narrative, the reality was far more nuanced. Relationships, even long-lasting ones, can face challenges that remain private and complicated. Similarly, public figures often experience situations that are difficult to navigate, where perception and reality may not align. For Greg Mathis, the divorce, though sudden, reflected the human realities of balancing personal happiness, professional responsibilities, and public scrutiny. It also showed that even the most respected individuals faced personal struggles that may not be visible to the outside world. Despite the end of his marriage, Greg continued his work with dedication, focusing on helping young people, promoting justice, and serving his community. His life and experiences demonstrate that resilience, responsibility, and integrity are essential, both in personal decisions and public life. Looking at the life of Judge Greg Mathis as a whole, his story is one of remarkable resilience, transformation, and human complexity. From a young boy navigating the challenges of the Detroit housing projects to a troubled teenager facing jail, he learned the importance of accountability, discipline, and determination. These lessons shaped his future, guiding him through education, political engagement, and public service. Greg's rise from adversity to becoming a respected judge is a testament to the power of personal choice and the ability to overcome early mistakes. The values instilled in him by his mother, faith, hard work, and education, remained with him throughout his life, forming the foundation for his decisions and actions. His marriage to Linda reflected another dimension of his life: the complexities of personal relationships, even for someone who achieved great professional success. The divorce, while shocking to fans, was a reminder that no relationship is immune to challenges, regardless of public perception. Years of accumulated stress, personal differences, and the pressures of a public life contributed to the separation. Yet the process remained private, respectful, and largely amicable. This approach demonstrates that endings can be handled with dignity, even when they contradict public expectations. Greg and Linda's choice to part ways without drama underscores the importance of respect, communication, and discretion in personal relationships. It also humanizes Greg, showing viewers that even a person who embodies authority, morality, and fairness in the public eye experiences challenges in private life, just like everyone else. Beyond his personal life, Greg Mathis's public career has left a lasting impact. As a judge, he has mentored young people, advocated for justice, and provided guidance to those who might otherwise have followed a difficult path. His story has inspired countless individuals who face obstacles, demonstrating that it is possible to rise above early mistakes through determination, education, and moral commitment. Even when confronted with public scrutiny or misunderstandings, he has maintained his dedication to helping others and serving the community. The lessons from Greg Mathis's life are clear. Resilience, accountability, and integrity are crucial. Challenges are inevitable, but they can be overcome, and personal growth is a lifelong process. His experiences remind viewers that every life is multifaceted, with successes, failures, struggles, and triumphs all woven together. Ultimately, the story of Greg Mathis, his early struggles, his rise to prominence, his marriage and divorce, and his public challenges, serves as a reminder of the complexity and humanity of life. It illustrates that even those who seem to have it all face private difficulties and must navigate personal choices with care and thoughtfulness. His journey offers inspiration, showing that mistakes do not define a person. Challenges can be overcome, and even sudden, unexpected events like a divorce can be approached with respect, reflection, and dignity. Judge Greg Mathis's legacy is not just in the courtroom, but also in the lessons his life provides for perseverance, transformation, and the human experience, making his story one that resonates with audiences far beyond the headlines. He grew up in a family that faced many challenges, but one full of love and lessons that would shape his life forever. His mother, Alice Lee Mathis, was a strong, hard-working woman who had 4 sons to raise after her divorce from Charles Mathis. Alice worked long hours as a nurse's aide, and she often took extra jobs cleaning houses just to make sure her children had food on the table and a safe home. Despite the hardships, Alice made sure her sons understood the importance of hard work, responsibility, education, and faith. Church attendance was non-negotiable, and every day the family would eat together, pray, and talk about their experiences. These routines became anchors in a life that could otherwise feel chaotic and unpredictable. Alice believed that education could be the key to escaping the harsh realities of Detroit, and she encouraged her sons to work hard, study diligently, and never give up. In 1964, the Mathis family moved into the Herman Gardens housing projects, a neighborhood plagued with crime, drugs, and violence. Life there was difficult, and even the strong guidance of Alice could not fully shield her children from the dangers outside. As Greg grew older, he became involved in minor crimes, including purse snatching and breaking into houses. By the age of 17, he faced a major turning point. He was arrested on a concealed weapons charge and sent to Wayne County Jail for 9 months. Jail was a shocking and humbling experience. During this time, he also learned that his mother had been diagnosed with colon cancer. This news devastated him, but it also gave him a reason to change his life. A judge offered him a choice: remain in jail or earn his General Education Development Certificate, known as a GED. Greg chose to earn his GED, beginning a path of transformation that would define the rest of his life. He also made a promise to his mother while she was sick, a promise to turn his life around and make better choices. That promise became his moral compass, guiding him through the difficult years that followed. After his release, Greg started working humble jobs, including flipping burgers at McDonald's. While these jobs were far from glamorous, they kept him on track, out of trouble, and in compliance with his probation. Over time, a family friend helped him enroll at Eastern Michigan University, where he discovered a passion for politics, public service, and helping others. At university, he became deeply involved in campus activities, joined political groups, and even organized events and protests against apartheid in South Africa. These experiences taught him leadership, public speaking, and how to fight for justice. After earning a degree in public administration, he began working for Detroit's City Council and later joined the administration of Mayor Coleman Young, where he ran a district city hall and stayed closely connected to the community. Eventually, Greg pursued law, but his criminal record created obstacles. Instead of giving up, he challenged the denial of his law license and won in the Michigan Supreme Court. This victory proved that his dedication, community service, and moral integrity outweighed the mistakes of his youth. In just 15 years, Greg Mathis went from a troubled teenager to a respected judge, inspiring countless people who believe that no one is defined by their past mistakes, and that hard work, focus, and integrity can change a life. Greg Mathis's career as a television judge began in 1999 with the show Judge Mathis, which quickly became one of the longest-running courtroom programs in history. Unlike other court shows, which often changed judges or went through multiple cancellations and reboots, Judge Mathis remained consistent. For 24 seasons, Greg presided over cases, earning a reputation for fairness, wisdom, and calm authority. When Judge Judy ended its historic run in 2021, Judge Mathis became the longest-running active courtroom show with the same judge and original production team intact. Audiences trusted him, not just because he was entertaining, but because he combined real-life lessons with genuine care for justice. His courtroom style reflected his personal history, a mix of discipline, compassion, and accountability that stemmed from the lessons taught by his mother and the challenges he overcame in his youth. In 2022, Warner Brothers decided to cancel Judge Mathis alongside the People's Court. The news shocked fans and felt like the closing of an era in daytime television. While some speculated that ratings might have been the reason, Greg explained that the decision was part of a broader corporate strategy, not a reflection of his popularity. Local stations were cutting budgets, advertising revenue was shrinking, and syndicated courtroom shows were becoming harder to justify financially. Greg used this moment as an opportunity to focus on empowering others. he began collaborating with Black-owned studios, Black creatives, and Black entrepreneurs, advocating for ownership, representation, and authentic storytelling in Hollywood. During this transitional period, Greg invited audiences into his personal life with the reality series Mathis Family Matters. Unlike many reality shows built on manufactured drama, this series showcased his family navigating real-life challenges. The show featured his 4 adult children, Jade, Kamar, Greg Jr., and Amir, exploring careers, relationships, and personal growth. Greg laid down one firm rule: no screaming, no toxic behavior, and no fabricated conflicts. Viewers responded enthusiastically, praising the show for its positivity, accountability, and depiction of a strong, loving Black family. This project highlighted another side of Greg, one of a father and mentor, and demonstrated his commitment to teaching life lessons, not just in courtrooms, but at home. Through the years, Greg maintained a strong presence in both professional and personal spheres, but life's challenges were never far behind. In 2019, he faced public scrutiny following an incident in Detroit involving a valet. Reports claimed that he had become frustrated when the valet accidentally took the wrong car keys. Allegations suggested that the situation escalated, though Greg denied any wrongdoing beyond raising his voice. Later, in Los Angeles in 2023, another complaint arose involving a city worker. Greg addressed the allegations publicly, maintaining his innocence while emphasizing that the reports had been exaggerated. Despite these challenges, he continued to focus on his family, new projects, and his broader goal of inspiring positive change. It was during this period that a major shift occurred in his personal life. Greg Mathis and his wife Linda had been together for nearly 4 decades. They met at Eastern Michigan University, dated for 4 years, and married on June 1, 1985. Over the years, they raised 4 children and built a family admired for stability, loyalty, and strength. However, after decades of shared life, long work hours, public attention, and personal pressures, the couple decided to separate. In July 2024, they went their separate ways. And on August 22, 2024, Linda officially filed for divorce, listing July 17th as the official date of separation. The news surprised many fans who had long considered the Mathises a model couple. While the divorce was deeply personal, sources indicated that it was amicable, with no public feud, no scandals, and a mutual focus on moving forward respectfully. The public and personal life of Greg Mathis has always been intertwined, and his divorce occurred in the midst of other notable events. Despite his reputation as a fair, calm, and respected figure, allegations and controversies have occasionally drawn attention. In the Los Angeles incident with Ricardo Ayasta, the complaint alleged that Greg had become angry and verbally berated Ayasta, even threatening him with a gun. Ayasta sought compensation for emotional distress, lost wages, and future earnings. Greg's legal team immediately denied the allegations, calling them extortion attempts, and emphasizing that law enforcement never investigated the claims. He maintained that the situation was exaggerated and did not involve a gun. These events highlighted the challenges of being a public figure. No matter how carefully one manages their reputation, private encounters can quickly become public stories. While professional controversies can be stressful, Greg Mathis remained committed to his work and his family. Following the cancellation of Judge Mathis in 2022, he returned to television in 2023 with Mathis Court with Judge Mathis, produced by Allen Media Group. This new show allowed him to continue mentoring, teaching life lessons, and serving as a role model for viewers. The show emphasized fairness, accountability, and the same principles that had defined his career. It also demonstrated his ability to adapt, rebuild, and maintain relevance in a constantly changing media landscape. Despite the divorce and occasional public controversies, Greg's legacy continues to grow. His life story, from a troubled teen in Detroit to a respected judge, TV personality, and family man, is inspiring. He overcame poverty, legal trouble, and public scrutiny to build a career based on integrity and accountability. Even his divorce reflects a human side. It reminds audiences that even admired figures face challenges, and that personal relationships can be complex, even when built on decades of love and respect. His children, now adults, carry forward his teachings, and his professional and personal contributions remain impactful. Greg Mathis's story is a testament to resilience, growth, and integrity. From the streets of Detroit to the national stage, he has shown that with determination, accountability, and care for others, anyone can overcome challenges and build a meaningful life. His career, his family, and even his divorce all demonstrate that personal and public growth often occur side by side. For viewers, the lessons are clear. Life is not always perfect, but hard work, honesty, and a commitment to improvement can leave a lasting legacy. Through it all, Greg Mathis remains an example of how to balance personal challenges, professional responsibilities, and family life, offering inspiration to those who look to him as a role model. Judge Greg Mathis and his wife Linda had a long and remarkable journey together. They were married for nearly 40 years, a milestone that is rare in any marriage, let alone for public figures. From the very beginning, their marriage was built on shared values, mutual support, and a deep connection. When they first met, both were fresh out of college, just starting their lives and their careers, far from the fame and wealth that would later define Greg Mathis's public life. They faced life's challenges together, learning to grow as a couple, while balancing personal ambitions and family responsibilities. Even in those early days, Greg recognized the importance of Linda's support. She was his partner, confidant, and friend, and her encouragement allowed him to pursue opportunities that would eventually change his life. The early years of their marriage were marked by the kind of ordinary but essential work that strengthens bonds. Shared meals, conversations about the future, and mutual encouragement. Even though neither of them was famous at the time, they understood the value of loyalty, communication, and patience in building a lasting relationship. Those foundational years laid the groundwork for decades of shared experiences, love, and commitment. Over time, as Greg Mathis's career took off, their marriage became more visible to the public. Greg's rise from humble beginnings to a respected judge and television personality was extraordinary. Along the way, Linda was always by his side. She was present during public events, television appearances, and award ceremonies, offering her support and stability. Greg frequently spoke about Linda in interviews and on their reality show, Mathis Family Matters, highlighting her role in his success. He credited her with giving him the space to work long hours, focus on his career, and dedicate himself to community service while maintaining a loving and nurturing home life. Their public image was one of unity, stability, and mutual respect. Fans admired them as a couple who seemed to navigate fame without losing sight of what mattered most, their family and their love for each other. Even in moments of celebration, such as when Greg received his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, he emphasized that his achievements were not his alone. Linda had played an essential role, and he consistently acknowledged her contributions, both privately and publicly. Their relationship appeared to be a model of a strong, supportive, and enduring partnership, and for many years, fans looked up to them as an example of commitment and love in the public eye. Despite their busy lives, Greg and Linda also made time to enjoy life together. They traveled extensively, sharing experiences that strengthened their bond and created lasting memories. In early 2023, for example, they spent time in Cabo, sharing photos and videos that showed them enjoying each other's company, laughing, and embracing. Later that year, they traveled through Europe, visiting Greece, France, and Italy. On a super yacht owned by Magic Johnson, they joined other high-profile couples, such as Michael Jordan and Samuel L. Jackson, experiencing the luxury and excitement of world travel while maintaining their connection as a couple. These trips were more than vacations. They were opportunities to reinforce their partnership, enjoy shared adventures, and celebrate the life they had built together. Even in public appearances, such as influencer brunches and red carpet events, they presented themselves as a united front, projecting an image of a family that was strong, loving, and committed.